actual Mercedes-Benz India came into existence in 1994. The vehicles were produced first in 1995 and they were on the market in 1996.
So during that time, what was your vision for mobility? And now, in the year we are sitting right now, how has that vision evolved?
There is a history of more than 135 years for our company. And the vision for our mobility thought, company-wide, is called First Move the World. We call this as a purpose of our company. And that has been the vision. Mercedes has pioneered the number of airbags in a vehicle and also seat belts. And these are some of the things which also kept on people believing in this brand. Also, we have now pioneered the new electric vehicles, which are now completely designed as electric vehicles.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Climapreneur Show. Today we are at the Mercedes-Benz India headquarters at Pune. And I'm so excited to be bringing to you two amazing guests today on this podcast. So we are speaking with Mr. Shekhar Bhede. Shekhar is really the VP of Customer Services, Corporate Affairs and CSR at Mercedes-Benz India. With him, we really try to explore that, how is Mercedes-Benz really building an entire EV ecosystem from charging infrastructure to skilling people to EV servicing, and what are some other areas that they're really working on when it comes to sustainability. I hope you enjoy the conversation. If you do, please do hit the subscribe button. Welcome, Mr. Shekhar, on the Climapreneur Show. So, firstly, before we actually go into the entire conversation, you tell me that, I have a younger brother who is, really passionate about cars, and I am someone who doesn't get that passion, to be honest. But he was like, कि आप Mercedes के उसमें जा रहे हो, Mercedes is like heart, it's like dil. So firstly, ये समझाओ कि why do people have this much cult following for a brand like Mercedes? Where does this love come from?
I think the love for Mercedes for many people comes from the history this brand has. And this history is so glaring and glorious because of lot of pioneering initiatives our company has done. Not only in the technology, but also technology that is helping the safe driving in the world. Some of the examples I think you would know. Mercedes has pioneered the airbags, number of airbags in a vehicle, and also seat belts.
Really? This was Mercedes?
Yes.
Wow.
And these are some of the things which also kept on people believing in this brand. Plus, they saw the beautiful cars that are coming out on the road, which have all this kind of technological features and safety features and comfort features. And that made the brand more and more attractive for people. And people were always in love with this brand. They are still today and will always be.
I can see that. So when was the first time Mercedes ever came to India? When was the first car that came?
I think historically, Mercedes vehicles have been produced in India in joint technical partnership way back in 1960 with Tata Motors that time.
Mm-hmm.
And actual Mercedes-Benz India came into existence in 1994. Initially, it was a joint venture, and then the companies Tata Motors, that time Telco, and Mercedes-Benz decided to go separate ways, their own ways. And then we were 100% owned Mercedes-Benz AG subsidiary since 1998. So that is when the company started. The vehicles were produced first in 1995 and they were on the market in 1996. So this is where the start of the Mercedes-Benz India production and sale happened.
How long have you been into the company first?
Okay, I am pretty much since beginning.
Oh, wow.
Since 1996, I am with this company, with this great company. and have had a chance to work in multiple areas.
You've grown with the company, to be very honest.
That's right.
So, like, tell me this thing that went, for example, you said 1995, 1996 was the year. So during that time, what was your vision for mobility? And now, in the year we are sitting right now, how has that vision evolved?
I think there is a history of more than 135 years for our company. And the vision for our mobility thought, company-wide, is called First Move the World. We call this as a purpose of our company. And that has been the vision. So our vision here in India is very much in line with what our global parent company has. And we have always made sure that we add on to that by making sure the vehicles that leave our factory are with zero defect, and they are also very well received by our customers. And when our customers need us, for whatever reason, we are always there for them to support them. So with this vision, we have continued in this company in India.
I read it somewhere that, you have the three, pointed star, which says land, water, and sea. And earlier it was, pioneering mobility in all these spaces, but now it really is, like safeguarding land, water, and sea with the kind of products, with the kind of vehicles that you are creating. So today, when we are sitting here, what does Shekhar Bhide thinks that what is the future of mobility?
I think it is more than Shekhar Bhide. Shekhar Bhide, as Mercedes-Benz India employee, thinks that mobility is providing sustainable mobility solution to our customers. And I think this is coming clearly from our headquarters, where we had this vision, which is now getting reality into reality on roads, that we have very efficient ICE vehicles in terms of emissions, in terms of efficiency, economic result. Also, we have now pioneered the new electric vehicles, which are now completely designed as electric vehicles. And they are also now coming on road. And I'm happy that MB India is doing also a good job here, because we in India are the pioneers of introducing manufacturing of local electric vehicle, none less than EQS. So I think this has been a very proud moment for all of us. And I think that is the way future mobility is going to go and going to look like.
And when you are saying EQS, so like, as per my knowledge, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that when we're talking about electric vehicles or the electric segment, there are many elements to it. Like there's charging, there's technology, there's, skilling people, as we were talking about earlier. So how is, say, Mercedes-Benz actually working on the entire ecosystem? Because if electric has to succeed, the ecosystem has to grow. If the ecosystem doesn't grow together, we cannot really succeed in the electric space. So how are you looking at this entire situation right now?
I think success for electric mobility is having a multifaceted, let's say, multifaceted approach. I must say approach, because you named a couple of them. But the bottom line is expectation of customers, confidence the customers have into this ecosystem. And we as manufacturers, OEMs, how we are able to bring that confidence to our customers. Because product design is one part. Having those products rolled out beautifully on the road is another. But the most important is the sustaining of this mobility solution on ground. And for that, I think you named a couple. The most important being also having a support system in terms of also expertise, technological readiness on ground in our workshops, and charging. So charging, when I say, I want to deliberately bring you to one or two important examples, that one way of taking out the charging anxiety, so to say, that customers may have, is to have a sufficiently dense charging infrastructure. Another angle to that is to have a vehicle that has such a high driving range in one charge that people will slowly start forgetting the charging anxiety. So we have had our EQS, I come back to our EQS, where we, with help of AI, did a test. And this vehicle has close to 857 kilometers per one charge. And I think with such a range, I'm sure customers will stop forgetting the anxiety for charging. But another beautiful example, which is close to my heart, is about our Vision EQXX. I'm not sure if you have had a chance to know about it. That's a product which was tested in the end of last year in Europe in normal traffic condition, and in one charge that vehicle is able to drive more than 1,000 kilometers in one charge. And I think this is something which is going to be, a strong point for us as a brand, plus a strong conviction for customers that I can use electric. I don't have to worry about charging because of such a huge range that is going to come up. It is not only that, the vehicle is also designed in such a way that it has a minimum coefficient of drag. So
when you say coefficient of drag, what does that mean?
That's the least resistance while on road for driving for the vehicle. And the solar energy is an additional element and feature of that product. So this is going to go in that direction where multiple natural energy resources will be used in the vehicles, and the vehicles will become more and more self-sustaining. So there is also a feature in our product that is recuperation. And that means when a vehicle is driving, of course, it has a starting battery charge and it will run until the battery charge is there. But the vehicle is designed in such a way that during the driving conditions, whenever a driver has to, for example, brake on the road, or the driver is going downhill, there is automatically charging happening of the battery. And that is the recuperation. So the energy that the vehicle uses after brakes are applied is not allowed to dissipate in the environment, but it is used to charge the battery. So this is the technology, I think, which is, going to also make it more and more sustainable.
I think that's the beauty of it. You are able to deliver these things, deliver these amazing ways because you have a very strong technology, base. And that's what we're talking about, developing the entire ecosystem. Give me more instances or more work that you're doing on the technology side of the thing when it comes to, say, electric mobility.
I think we are at Mercedes-Benz, we are completely driven from this thought of sustainability. So electricity and electric vehicles, although is going to be a major point of interest, point of research, point of new innovations, there are also other supporting elements which are there in a vehicle where the sustainability thought is prevailing. And the technology is being used today to see how much can we really use in our vehicle, which is recycled material, including steel, including some of the upholstery material. And all of that is also a kind of technology that is emerging, because this has to go hand in hand. I told you about some of the electric vehicle technology itself, like the EQXX I was talking about. If I have to just tell you a comparison, a vehicle which is on the road today like EQS, the next generation of vehicles will have 30% lesser battery weight.
And how is that possible?
That is the new technology of battery. So there are multiple alternate methods of, battery construction also which are emerging. Battery is getting advanced day by day. Battery, let's say science and chemistry is also getting advanced day by day. All of that is going to result into this.
So do you have a very strong, research department who is working on all these areas?
Oh, I think you can believe us. We have one of the biggest research activity going on in our headquarters. And I think to be very honest, it has been our company's dream that we will have not only electric mobility, but luxury electric mobility. So we want to keep our identity as Mercedes-Benz, even in electric mobility. And there is a huge amount of research that goes on in our headquarters. And not only in the headquarters, also all our support systems, our suppliers, our research centers across the world, including one in Bangalore here in India, they are all contributing. And there's a huge amount of activity on research which is
Do you
happening.
feel collaboration and these partnerships have like a really important role to play when we're talking about Mercedes-Benz movement towards electric mobility or sustainable mobility?
Definitely, I think you can be sure about it because, as I said, this vehicles is a combination. Vehicle has been traditionally having the drivetrains, the seating compartments, and the luxury elements in the vehicle. But these vehicles have only drivetrains changed to electric. Most of the other things a vehicle must still have. And therefore, these are all contributing factors to see how we can go advanced on these technologies, on these parts also. And they at the same time contribute in building efficiency for the new drivetrains. So this is the collaboration of technologies which is definitely required.
So, एक हो गया technology part. Now, one part of the ecosystem is technology. We've done it. What, according to you, is the second part? Charging, as we're talking about. So, in charging infrastructure, like what kind of new technologies are you guys working on? Are you building like any new forms of collaboration to have like, or do you have your independent chargers? Like, how is the ecosystem for charging?
So I think you rightly put this question because this is the other next best anxiety people will have, that where do I charge my vehicle? So along with every vehicle that we sell to our customers, we are giving them one AC wall box charger, which can be installed at the house, location, or whatever place the customer is living, can be installed there, and he or she can charge the vehicle over there. Not only that, we have installed now not only AC wall box chargers, but now we have started installing DC chargers, fast chargers in our dealerships. So we have close to 100 plus touch points all across the country, and all these locations, they have these fast chargers. And now we have introduced some 34, 35, 36 ultra fast chargers, which are capable of charging a vehicle in 30 minutes. It can charge for about 200 kilometers driving range. So this is the new technology which is coming up in charging also.
Would you like to expand upon the technology?
Frankly speaking, charging technology, we are not directly into the manufacture or installation of that. We are just partnering with the respective technology experts in the charging area, and we are taking them to work with us to understand the need of our vehicle, and then they develop the charging systems which we deploy then at our dealerships.
I think that's a very smart move, because the ecosystem grows that way only. And I love the way you said that you're giving your customers a charger. Like, it's so thoughtful that, you already know, because unki aadhi anxiety wahin khatam ho jati. They know that I have a charger at my place.
Exactly.
So this was charging. What next do you think is an important piece?
The next important piece is, of course, customer thinks who takes care of my vehicle? And that's where our service readiness comes into place.
Also, people say that servicing is very expensive. Like, is it true that they are like, ठीक है, पहले तो you spend money on buying a luxury vehicle and then उसकी servicing बहुत महंगी पड़ती है?
I think if I stick only to electrics right now, then servicing for normal vehicles needs normally every year one visit to workshop. Electric will need only alternate year a visit to workshop.
That's really,
so this is something which is a gift of technology, I must say.
Wow.
But what we do is, we don't want to have our customers left on their own. We want them to, get their vehicles every year checked. And we offer them a free and complimentary battery check, a vehicle check, and then they are free for next year to drive their vehicles. But having said that, requisite equipment, tools, and most importantly, manpower. This is what we have to make sure, which we have made sure that we have first prepared. So all our workshops are ready with all these equipments. There are 135, more than that, employees of these retail who are trained in this EV technology. Not a super expert training, but a training for handling high voltage. Training for doing right things with this vehicle so that customers are taken care of. So this is what we have started to take out that anxiety also from our customers.
So this is basically, also like skilling people on the other end. And I also read somewhere that you also have launched like a course electric.
Yeah.
So please talk about that, and please also talk about that. Why is skilling such an important element for you?
I think it's not only because of electric. If you ask me, in the VUCA world today, where this change of technology is only one major change that is coming, there are many other major changes that are happening in the world. And therefore, everybody in every organization has to be across the age groups, across the qualification groups, keep himself or herself ready for upskilling. I think that is the only way forward. It's not enough to say that I know this and I'm expert at it, because that's not going to be enough. Everybody should have that inherent curiosity to learn new things and also upskill themselves. What we have done, not only for our employees here, but what we try to do also for the students in the universities, and this we are doing now at 9 different locations in India. We have a program called as Advanced Mechatronics Diploma. And this program we offer to these universities, who offer it along with their normal curriculum for the students. The idea is, we don't only give technical input to the student, we also give them what industry wants and make them employable, make them ready for the industry. As a part of that, now we have started introducing the electric vehicle module in this ADAM program, so that people get the latest technology quickly understood. And of course, many of them go from there further into higher studies, research, but many of them also come to auto industry. And that is a help for indirectly to our customers, that people who are ready, they are coming into the industry and industry is getting benefited. So this is that ADAM program what we are trying to do.
And it is also somewhere reflects, like I read it somewhere on the Mercedes website only, that Mercedes became an iconic brand because it led change, it didn't resist change. And it really echoes with what you were saying, that we all have to be ready for upskilling because we know the change is coming, right? So ठीक है, अब ecosystem develop हो गया है, we have talked about charging and everything. What on the consumer end? How does the consumer today look at electric because are they preferring electric over a conventional Mercedes vehicle? What does the consumer look like?
I just want to tell you a small story. I don't know if you have had a chance to know about Bertha Benz.
Okay, movie?
Yes.
So I saw in the movie. Yeah.
So that is when the movie, the only one message of that movie is, people in those times also were not willing to accept that horses could be replaced by something else. So there is a good amount of education of our customers the pioneering companies have to do. And something similar, not exactly the same, but similar phase we are into. People are so used to and in a comfort of using their ICE vehicles, they want to be very cautious because there are options available to have the electric vehicles accepted. And this is where comes also a role. I also always try to say to all the forums that I meet, we need to start educating and bringing customers to an information level where this inherent fear from their mind goes away. Because whatever anybody says, in the world, this is going to be the way and nobody can avoid it. Then let's embrace it and gracefully with full preparedness. And this is what we tell our.
So today, if say I'm your consumer, how would you convince me that, hey, Shweta, please buy an electric Mercedes over, say, a Mercedes I have been going crazy about for, say, last 4-5 years?
Okay, so I think if I have to convince you as one of the consumer, then I will say, first of all, that Shweta, you are a citizen of this world. And the biggest challenge for our world right now is to become sustainable. The natural resources that we are all so much dependent on are depleting so fast. And if they are not taken care of in time, they will not suffice for our generations to come. And if you are with me on this thought, then we have a possible solution, which we have tried to come out with. And that is our electric vehicle. Now, this vehicle has almost the same range as your existing vehicle. This is one strong argument I want to give you. And not lesser. It is much more lesser in terms of maintaining and driving it. So running cost, if you have to see, I talked about also service interval. There are all advantages you have to reap from this vehicle. Now, what are the other benefits? The other benefits is you are contributing indirectly by not adding any carbon into this environment, that we are making it more and more livable for our offerings. So if you have heard me this, if your vehicle experience is going to be so good, if your vehicle is going to be even more luxurious, then why not go for this one?
I think I'm convinced if I get like some special discount, that should actually like the 50% of the price. But no, honestly, like jokes apart, I think, like I've seen videos of the vehicle and we'll be shooting with it right now. After this, the vehicle looks like really good. Like it doesn't look like that any compromise has been done. It's like luxury, sustainability, and making like desirable and sustainable cars, I would actually say.
So I want to just share with you that this we are not limiting only as our sustainability initiative in the plant for our products, but we are working closely with our retail partners. We are encouraging them, supporting them to make sure that at least 30% of their energy consumption comes from renewable energy, like solar. And this they are committed to do in the next 3 years' time.
When you say retail partners, please explain that what does a retail partner mean for Mercedes?
For Mercedes, now we have franchise partners which are now at the 50 plus cities located, and they are helping our customers to own the cars, to get them serviced. And these are the partners I am referring to who are also on this journey with us together, and they have committed that they will start on this initiative by installing at least solar systems which would take care of minimum 30% of their requirement of consumption. So this is something which they are contributing from their side. But what we are doing also is in the supporting system. So for example, our warehouse operations. We used to do a lot of paperwork, and this is required by law and statute. But we have now been able to do online, digitally, lot of papers, signatures, so that we can avoid 60% paper in our warehouses. Vehicle has the booklets, if you remember, where are terms and conditions mentioned, warranty conditions mentioned. All of that we have now made digital. So our vehicle is more and more becoming paperless, and everything is digitally available to our customers because there is a barcode and the customer has to just scan the barcode to get all the details. So these are some of the additional initiatives. When it comes to handling vehicles, cleaning them, we are promoting dry wash to conserve water and making it mandatory to our partners that they should, and we are supporting them. It's not that we are leaving it up to them. We are supporting them to see how they can implement it. But almost, I think by May, that is this month, each and every of our partner in each and every our workshop location would have introduced the dry wash. So this is the initiative which is currently going on. So many such initiatives are supporting, I would say, our overall thought of the sustainability drive.
So, this was the vehicle or the part of it. So any other, initiatives that you have taken? I know you have taken like quite a many initiatives. So please like elaborate on that.
Yeah, I think that's a good question because there is one very interesting initiative has been rolled out by our headquarters. This initiative has a very unique name called as Be Visionaries. And this, under this initiative, our company globally has partnered with one institution called as Do School. And this institution is in charge of selecting worldwide entrepreneurs, young budding entrepreneurs, innovators, to come up with their ideas along the sustainability. And these ideas will be evaluated by this Do School. And the winning ideas will not only be awarded, but they will be also funded so that they can be rolled out into reality. So this is, I think, really a great initiative. It has just started. The kickoff happened in the month of January when our chairman, Mr. Ola Kelenius, was here, when Renata Jungo Brunger, who is our director for this sustainability drive, was here. And in their presence, this whole initiative was launched in India. So I think this is a very proud moment for all of us. And I'm sure this will take us to next level of sustainability commitment.
Definitely. I don't know, also mentioning that in the plan that you do not discharge, any like chemically treated chemical water. So tell us about that as well.
So I think it's also a very nice and interesting question that in our plant, I think this, before we start telling this to our partners, retail partners and world outside, we started doing it by ourselves. We used all the washing technologies which I talked about. Plus, we made sure that the material we use is completely biodegradable. And there are some chemicals we have to use in our plant, in our paint shop, and that cannot be avoided. But what we did is, of course, it's a requirement, and we set up the effluent treatment plant. As a result, I am proud to say that we have a zero chemical discharge from our entire premise into the public sewage system.
That's incredible. And even the story that you already mentioned, that the way you've planted the saplings around the area, and also, please, I know that because you told me this thing, that why are you supporting the community or the ecosystem around this area where exactly your plant is located?
Yeah, I think we are a responsible corporate citizen. And I think it is also important that this land where our plant is set up belongs to villages which were here. And earlier they had maybe some kind of livelihood they were trying to get from these areas. And as a result of that, we think that we not only are, let's say, responsible and emotionally bound to these people here around, we should do something good for the society. And that gene comes right from our headquarters, and we are continuing it. Focus is here, but we want to have initiatives rolled out all across because our partners are everywhere in India. So we try to reach out to them also as much as possible to the people in the bigger society all across India.
And how have you created livelihood for people around this area by what you were mentioning about planting saplings?
So I think I'll give you one small example that we not only create small livelihood by giving the chance of local people to participate in the sapling plantation program, but we also assign these saplings to people so that they can maintain them. They can take care of these saplings until they grow, until they live, and they are growing into bigger trees. And this is a definite source of livelihood for some people.
So these people are financially supported when they, are assigned a sapling.
Of course, we do that through our NGO partners, but this is exactly the plan, that we give them some fixed money. The NGO gives them so that they maintain these plants. And this is how I think it remains sustainable.
That's amazing, and thank you, Mr. Shekhar. When we see brands like you doing this so seriously and doing this mainstream, it's like an inspiration for us as well. And I hope to own an EQS very soon. So thank you, and thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you very much, and best of luck with EQS.